Okay, here we go. We're going to do the refacing of the valves, and some of these have already been tipped, so we're just going to tip the ones that need to be tipped. And I've already used the dial indicator there and measured them. They're all the right length. Exhausts and the intake are both equal, so when we go to set our rocker arm geometry, we'll be good to go. Unlike those last set of heads that I had to return that had longer exhaust valves and shorter intake valves, that could be pretty it can be a problem when you go to set your rocker arm geometry. You'll have to have two different length push rods, and one will be happy and one won't be happy. So we got a valve in the machine over here. This is a Sioux, an old one that was gifted to me by Jimmy Dean, famous Volkswagen guy. So what we're going to do here is we're going to reface these with a 45. I put some blue in, or some Dykem, on the face of the valve so you can see what we're machining. That's the surface that's going to make contact with the seat. So let's get started. I cleaned these up earlier. We'll face them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. There's a lot of them. We'll face them all and then we'll take them over in the tipper and we'll do that next. So put your goggles on, safety glasses, all that stuff. And we're going to get some oil flow over here on the stone. Got a little too much flow there. We're going to cut that back some. I don't know how old this machine is, but it's pretty old. And we're just going to run the stone in until it makes contact. I have a dial indicator here so I can see how much I'm taking off each one. Right here. So you can see the Dykem's gone now. We have a clean 45 all the way around. This valve's not bent, good to go. We'll put it over in the tip pile. This one's already been tipped. We'll face it. Some of these have already been faced too. I'm just giving it a quick clean up. That one's bent. And you can see the valve is clean on that side, and you see the blue on this side. So that would probably clean up. You could probably cut that flat. We'll put it back in there and see what happens. That's why you want to reface the valves though. And now we're good to go all the way around. So there you go. A lot of times it's just the head of the valve, not the stem. Again, we're just repeating the same thing over and over. So yeah, that's why I'm not telling you each step there. You know, this chuck is designed where you can slide the valve in real quick like that. It locks down, so you don't have to tighten the chuck each time. Okay, got one more intake here, and then we'll go to the exhaust valve. Alright, there we go. That's 3, 4. So we got 6 intake valves. Let's see if I can find one more. There's one that's already cut. I got another set of heads that I dug up, so we'll do those. Alright, now we're going to do some exhaust valves. They're smaller, but it's the same size tip, so we don't have to reset the machine for that. And again, we're putting the 45 on here, so we don't have to redress the wheel. This one's let's tip the big blockhead over there. Alright, good to go now. Same deal. Just putting a new 45 on there. You can see this bluing too on the edge here. This is the margin. You want to make sure that this isn't razor sharp up here, that you still have a little margin left after you put your face on. There you go again, you can see the margins real critical on an exhaust valve too if you're going to reface one. If you get it too sharp out there, it'll blow and cause detonation, so make sure that you don't have them cut too thin out there. More critical on an exhaust valve than the intake valve, of course. And normally I use new exhaust valves, but these are rebuilt heads. And I got some low mile valves here that I saved that I know the history of, so I had these in my car before I went to stainless steel. got a set out of the Porter project heads too. I put stainless steel valves in those. And I kept the ones that came in it for a stalker. Sure the chuck was tight there, always check it, you know. Seemed like it was taking a while to get to the valve here. Looking good, one more to go here and then we'll do the tips. Alright, we're only going to have to tip a couple of these. We'll get the camera refixed here. This is the tipping side over here. We're going to switch the Earl over to here. Again, I just put some bluing on top of the valve tip so we can see what's going on. And I usually just stick it in there, let it barely touch, and then I just give it about a half thousandths off, just enough to make it flat. There you go. Now we got a nice flat tip for our adjuster to ride on. Remember not to get the camera shot here. There you go, nice tip. And we only have a couple here. I've already tipped most of these. Now you can see this one. This is a good example of why you want to tip it. You can see how this top of this valve is convexed. And there's a little blue dot in the center there. We'll cut that one more time and see if it'll clean up. We don't want to take too much off because if we do, we're going to have unequal valve train. There we go. and see how it's in the center. There goes that hand. I'm stuck with it though. One more and the one on the floor here. Alrighty. Now we'll come over here. This is what we just refaced. It seemed like that many to you. It did to me. Just wipe them off, you know, get most of the oil. We'll clean these up in the safety clean. Just want to wipe them down. So a little lacquer thinner on this rag, and we'll take the rest of that bluing off and just clean the oil off so we can get a good measurement. Probably turn this back on and do another head or two heads so you guys can see the valve job one more time. Somebody wanted to see that again, as boring as it is. Some people like that stuff. That's why I put it up. So I think that rag's got more oil in it than clean rag. Microfiber towels aren't good for in the greasy side of the shop, but I used them anyway. There's the hand again. I think all the fingers work until I pick something up. Just these two. Alright, now we're going to measure the overall length of the valves here. We want them to be, you know, close. We don't want to have one that's 50 or 100 thousandths or 25 thousandths longer, because then our push rod will have to not be the right length. So you want to run them through the old micrometer there and make sure all your valves are the same length, especially if you're selling a set of heads for $800. You know, your installed height and valve length should be correct. If the guy in the backyard can get it done, you should be able to raise your standards a little bit and get it done too. So, not that hard. Anybody that has a conscience will make sure that they're like that. So there we go. We got all of them the same length, within 10 or 15 thousandths. And the next step will be to get some springs together, some retainers and keepers. We'll lap these in and to our cylinder heads over there. And then we have another set of cylinder heads down here. I'll go ahead and turn the camera on. We're going to cut those. I got those out of the soaker. We'll get those cut, and that'll give us two sets of heads. So that'll make me build two motors. And I'm going to try to clean this cabinet out and build what I can build out of there. I have a 1776 in there, and 2 or 3 1600s that I'll get assembled. And then we'll do the Porsche motor. I know some of you guys are waiting for that. But, you know, I hate to rebuild that and then just have it sit on the floor, you know, is the bad part about it. But I'm not above it, you know. I'm going to eventually get to it. I'd like to sell it, you know. That's the ultimate goal. I did get it to turn over. It was a wrist pen that was dry. And once it got some oil on the back of that, it rotates fine now. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm not doing a whole lot, just cleaned these valves up this morning, and had a meeting this morning, took care of that. And so let me get my hands cleaned up. We'll get the heads in the head bench here, and get you guys set up for another valve job video.